Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Aravaipa Rides podcast. I'm Jamil Curry. I also go by Jam Jam, and we're excited to be back. We have a really exciting guest today. It's our second one. And real quick, I'll reiterate these first few episodes. Why are we doing this podcast? Well, we're pretty new to the, mountain bike events. I've been doing trail running events for about 12 years, and I'm a mountain biker myself, recreationally, and I just want to learn more about people in the scene here in Arizona and share their stories. So that's why we're doing this. If you guys want to support this podcast in any way so that we can keep making more episodes, we will at some point have some sponsorship opportunities for our growing audience. Currently, like I said in the first episode, it's like 2 people, me and you. That's all who's hearing it right now. You can also shop in our online store, aravaipa.com, or just come join us at one of our upcoming events. Today we are joined by Sage Melley, and she's the event director and owner of the Cactus Cup stage race, which is just around the corner here in October this year. She's part of a family of mountain bikers, and I'm pretty sure her husband, Mike Melley, won the 2012 Old Pueblo 24-hour with a single-speed record of close to 300 miles.
That's right.
And I want to talk about that. And she is also launching a junior circuit this fall, and we're going to get into that as well. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jamil. I'm excited.
I want to start out because I know we met, I think, earlier this year at the NBA race at McDowell, if I'm not mistaken. And my involvement, I actually did the short circuit race at Cactus Cup last year.
Oh.
I think it was one of my first mountain bike races.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the short track.
The short track
Oh,
one. It was
awesome.
I think I was only available that Friday night.
Okay.
And I got completely smoked. And it was so fun.
Oh, it's a red line event. I mean,
Yeah.
oh.
And I'm like on my bike, I have like the 3-inch wide tires. So kind of like fatter than the racing style. So it was a very harsh welcoming to the sport.
Yeah. Oh, that's
sure.
cool. You tried it though. You got
Yeah.
a sense of the community and things like that too. That's
for
the
sure.
fun part.
But I want to start out and just talk about your background in mountain biking because I just don't know as much about it. But I think I was sleuthing the internet a little bit. And like maybe you did some adventure races or triathlons possibly. But
I did.
Maybe just, how'd you get started in it?
Well, actually, it goes back before that to my high school days when we moved out here from Colorado with my family of 4, just my brother and I, my parents. And my dad opened up a bike shop, Miller and McDowell, called Wheels and Gear. And he rented bikes and rollerblades. At the time, that was a pretty big deal.
Nice.
And so I'd work in there for extra cash. And so I kind of got around bikes. And then it was a while into it where I finally went out for my first ride with my dad and my brother, and it was terrifying. Out to Pima Dynamite, I remember, because now I ride out there and I have these fond memories of it. But that's how it ultimately started. And then from there, at that time, I started jumping into NBA racing, and then that evolved into off-road triathlon, which was the Xterra series I did for a while. Meeting those people got me into some adventure racing. But ultimately, the foundation of everything has been in mountain biking. And then I actually transitioned over to Land Cyclery, where I worked for 8 years. It was the longest job I had at that time. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So the adventure racing, those are like multi-day, and does that include climbing and kayaking and things too?
Yeah, it did. I did something called the G4 Challenge, which was an off-road adventure. So that actually incorporated off-road driving too. Yeah,
Motorsports?
Well, it was a Land Rover.
Land Rover.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was really cool, and that was a team thing. So we would have to drive between destinations, and then at the next spot, you'd have to do another sport, kayak across the river to get the next clue, and so on. And we did, that incorporated the G4 Challenge was a week long, and we did all different sports in that.
Nice. Where did they hold that?
In Nevada.
Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of desert. Type of a race.
It was supposed to be televised, and then it was supposed to become a series, and I think it was a one-off.
Okay.
It was cool.
Nice, but it was a good time.
I learned how to winch a truck up a hill. I mean, stuff I'd never done before.
Was it like probably pretty gnarly terrain? You're trying to take these land because they wanted to probably show off the capabilities.
It was for the vehicles, yes, and they just put the sports with it. But no, we did some stuff that I didn't know you could do in cars. It was fun.
Nice, that's awesome. You've been at it a while, and then you have a family of mountain bikers, right?
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
Sure. Well, you were right with Mike. He's been mountain biking for years and is well known in the community. He did awesome at Old Pueblo and does aspire to go back, I'll say. And we have 2 kids, 5 and 7 now, and they're both little mountain bikers too. So
nice.
We had them on the Strider bikes at first, and now they're full-fledged bikers. We'll take them out on trails. and things like that. But that's kind of how we got evolving into putting on some events for ourselves, is trying to involve whole families. Because oftentimes, like in our days when Mike was racing at Old Pueblo or his racing career, he was always out. I had to stay in and hang out, or before kids, be the Sherpa. And that can be hard on the other, whether it's a girlfriend or spouse or boyfriend, either way around. So I wanted to be able to have something that everybody could participate in, so it wasn't just always the dad getting a kitchen pass.
So you mentioned your dad opened a bike shop? So
yes.
He was into it as well?
Yes.
Like racing and
No, my dad was not.
Recreationally?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No, nope. He would commute on like a road, on a cruiser from to work, and that was it. No, that was that family. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yes.
So how, you said you moved to Arizona. When did you move here?
1991.
1991? And
Yep.
so were you involved in the Cactus Cup from the beginning? Did you witness it? Were you at any of those? Tell us a little about that.
You know, because my dad's my dad's mountain store, I was mountain biking, and then we knew about the Cactus Cup. We would hang up their cool posters in our shop and stuff like that. So I was aware of it. So I did it a few times, but not until probably 94 and 96 or something. It was towards the tail end. So the original race was in 1991, and then the last official race was 1998, and that's been the hiatus until 2017.
Yeah, I was looking at the history on your website, which is an awesome history. Like, I learned stuff that I didn't even know about.
Cool.
But it sounded like it did start in North Scottsdale. Like, was it Pima and Dynamite area?
Actually, it was Pinnacle Peak where the golf course now is. So there are no trails where it originally started. I have the very first, this was actually 1983, the very first registration, paper registration for the first mountain bike race at those trails.
Oh my gosh.
It was the same guys, which was mostly made up Team Aware, and I'll name them later, but they started the first mountain bike race, and it evolved to the Cactus Cup. But this was back in 1983.
I love it. What is that, a $5 entry fee?
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, $5 entry and $3 pre-entry.
The pre-entry, yes.
Pre-registration's real cheap.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Probably in 1983, I mean, that was a couple years before I was born. There probably wasn't a whole lot out in that area.
No, it shows where Rawhide used to be. I remember that. Scottsdale Road and Pinnacle Peak. It must have been even before that. But yeah, out Riata Pass and Pinnacle Peak Restaurant. So
nice.
There's tons of houses. I think Four Seasons is out there now. I mean, it's some good real estate. So
that's so cool. So yeah, the Cactus Cup, it was started. How did it start? And what are the early years like? And how did it evolve? Because it sounds like maybe by the time you started going, it was a huge deal. I mean, there were thousands of people spectating.
Yes.
Like, how did it get
was
so big?
a huge international deal, actually.
And you got, it's cool. You have so many awesome things to show us today. This is show and tell.
And I know, and I will, this one was 1993. So what I have here is the original paper reg form for the actual Cactus Cup. You can see the original logo a little bit, but we tried to emulate that with what we have now with the cactus sideways. So I was later in the whole thing. It had already, I think, reached its peak and then tapered off, and I was just kind of around it. So my story in getting involved in it really came, I had to catch back up. But the founder of the event is Dan Baczynski, who's been around. Back in the day, he was known as Norba Dan. So he was always the official at the NBA races when Norba was around. Well-known guy, great. Everybody knows him who's been around since the old days. But he started it. So him and his buddies created Team Aware. And that name comes from, hey, be aware, heads up. Because they were always trying to get their mountain bikers to look around you. So Team Aware was made up of Dan Baczynski, Scott Paulsell, who's the Specialized rep now, a number of other guys too, who I am still trying to find and get a hold of, but Brad Richmond of Single Speed Coffee Roasters was original member too. And I'm sorry, I'm missing probably a bunch, but they are listed on the website. So
this is a test.
I know, there's a lot of names. So they started it, and then what I ended up doing when I got the idea to revive the event is I went and found Dan. He lived up in Payson. We sat for many days in a row just talking, and he's who provided me with all this memorabilia. He was a hoarder in a good way.
Nice.
He kept all of it. So he then donated it to me to display so people understand the history we have in Arizona.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And so the event was a big deal, internationally known, and it was always a stage race format.
It was, and we tried to do that as well to keep it true to its roots. It was a 3-day race, and it was something around a short track. It was definitely cross country, and then at one point they did a Super D for their.
And what is that?
It's like a super downhill. It's similar to an enduro. It's just
okay.
a one stretch time downhill section.
Gotcha.
And here in the desert, it certainly doesn't amount to what you do in the mountains, but
right.
we do our best.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a stage race. And the cool thing that they were doing back then is they were really facilitating the beginners, because mountain biking was brand new. I mean, Dan
brand
had
new sport, yeah.
one of the first bikes, and he bought it at Spencer's Appliances.
Oh my God.
So yeah, people didn't know about this in the early 90s. So that's how it gained so much momentum. It was this new sport, and everyone came out. And there's an article I have called The Prickly Business of the Cactus Cup, because then industry reps and leaders would come and use the Cactus Cup as a platform to then spread the word and launch product. And that's
kind of a networking event for the sport.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So was it one of the first mountain bike races then, like anywhere?
It was the first in Arizona. I know two particular people who will argue that, but I think there was something happened in Flagstaff, but it was more or less the first one in Arizona. Yeah. So
nice.
We call it Arizona's original stage race.
Sweet. Mm-hmm. That's great. And so the event was, I guess, at some point discontinued.
Yeah. What happened was Specialized had dropped off as the primary sponsor, and they actually had owned it for a while. So they started focusing on manufacturing, as they should be, and they let the race go. Dan and a couple buddies picked it up and tried to carry it on, and then more or less they kind of split ways, and that was the end of that. And they ran it under different company names for a little bit. But yeah, I think they just went on their way. I mean, Dan had been in the industry forever, so just moving on.
Yeah. Okay. So this event happens for about a decade, and then it goes away, and then you come along and you're like, I'm going to revive this. So
I know.
What happened?
And it's weird too. And I hope I do it justice, because I'm not like Mike or you as like the ultimate ultra runner. And, I'm not that person who was like Dan's, related to Dan. I'm not that person. I'm just a girl who's like, I thought it was a cool idea, and I'm not connected, but I made an effort to be connected.
Yeah.
The reason it came to me, I think, is because I felt that, I don't know, with things just changing and stuff, and this was like 5 years ago or so, but I just felt that I wanted to do justice to the sport and to Arizona, because I love the desert, and I think riding the whole thing is just this happy, merry time, but Arizona is a place to come to race and to ride your bike. And I want everybody, the world, to know that we have history. The first bikes were here. And so the Cactus Cup for me, and it extends into many facets of life, but it's about tradition and roots. And we're now formulating those roots into bringing your kids on. And let's get the next generation going, because this has spanned so many years. Let's keep this moving. And so the sense I'm trying to evoke with the Cactus Cup is community. We want to have competitive racing. We want those big name pros to come because they're part of the community. We want to watch them, but we really want to build the families. That's the point.
That's awesome. So you brought the race back in 2017 and back to McDowell Mountain Park. So it moved to McDowell Mountain Park towards the last couple of years.
Yep, 97.
And I saw really cool photos on your website. Literally the chain gang, like from the prison, they are the ones that built the competitive tracks.
They are. And it's hard to see, but it's on our website, isn't it? This was from Dan's collection. They took pictures. This is one of their buddies from Team Aware, and his name is listed on the website. One of the prisoners gave him their stripes to put on so he could ride, because he thought it was
riding
funny.
over them or through them?
They're cutting the drop off on the tech loop. They're cutting it. Oh my
gosh.
So it's a big drop, and he thought it'd be so funny to ride right over them. But that's what they did.
Because there's Convict Corners out there on the trail.
That's right.
Named after them.
Yeah. So Dan went out with the park supervisor at the time, and they scouted all the acreage. Here, we want to do this, we want to do this. And so, working with the park and the preservation aspect, and then Dan's background from dirt biking, he knew how the trail should flow and things like that. So they pinpointed and flagged out the course, and then they used the chain gang to actually dig it.
That's amazing.
Hey,
That's awesome.
I bet the
history.
guys had a great time.
Oh yeah, that's so cool. And I mean, I'm sure most people listening to this know how fun the competitive track at McDowell is. It's hard to beat it, and it's really cool to hear that history, and it ties in. So the Cactus Cup was using it before, and so bringing the race back, you're like, I'm definitely going to use McDowell.
Yeah, well, the reason the competitive track was created was to help with user overlap. So you've got equestrian and runners, hikers, different age groups, and bikers. And as the advent of mountain biking became faster and faster, Dan wanted to make a place where just mountain bikers can go. So that's what the competitive track is. It's it's a particular flow direction.
One way, yep.
One way, and it's just for mountain bikers. And that leaves the rest of the park for everyone else, also riders. But that way we can race at top speeds without running into other users. Because anytime, as you know, we have an event out there, we can't close the trail. So we do have to be cognizant of those users. So that's the idea of that track. So they built it with the idea of having the Cactus Cup there, finished it in 98, and that was the last year they had the Cactus Cup.
Oh, wow. So just 1 year.
Yep.
So when did you have this idea to resurrect the race? And then how much time was it between that initial idea and then 2017?
So Mike and I were putting on a race we had inherited from some friends, Fat Tire 40, which was a one-day 40-miler, and that is currently our XC course right now.
Okay.
So he was getting busy with his real job and asked me to take over Fat Tire 40. Sorry, Mike. I totally took over. Made it something totally different. Yeah. But that's how it got started. So he kind of gave me the reins on Fat Tire 40, and I said, well, I just have this idea to make it a stage race. You're out there already. Let's make it a multi-day event, because once you get out there, you just want to ride. So that's how it started, and that was in around the summer of 2016. So I worked on it, put it all together so that we launched in 2017.
Nice. So did you replace that event with the Cactus Cup?
Yes. Okay. So we call it Evolved. So we took that 40-mile day on Saturday and then bookended it with the other two and wrapped it all together.
Nice. That's awesome. And for people, I guess, I mean, I don't know, it's probably impossible that people wouldn't know, but can you give us the lowdown of how it works, how the stage races work?
Yeah, absolutely, because we do want people to get familiar. I don't feel like there's enough stage racing in Arizona, so that's why we're going to keep moving ourselves so that we bring in some more beginner riders, because it's really fun to get up and with tired legs and race again. And that's kind of a neat challenge that you don't get to do a lot.
Nice.
So yeah, the stage race is 3 days, in this case 3, it could be any amount of days. And we start Friday afternoon, as you had the experience with what we had is the short track, and that's super fast, like a criterium that you'd see the road riders do. So we just wanted to bring that spectator-friendly, really fast, elbow-to-elbow racing for a short amount of time to kind of get the flair going, the excitement. My brother's the announcer DJ, and so I always like house music, like what lights flashing, like I want this whole thing.
It's a party.
It's a party.
Yeah.
And we put the beer garden in the middle of the pump track.
Nice.
Huss is our partner on that. Oh yeah, you're familiar. It's so fun. So that's what we do. And then you get up early the next day. So you're racing, the pros are racing till like 8 o'clock p.m. and then they get up at 7:30 or so and race again. And the Saturday event is our 40-mile or a 25-mile race. And then Sunday is now our enduro, and an enduro is timed segments. So your time only matters what you did the downhill portion of, and there's 3 portions that we use, and you have to ride between. So you're still getting in about 15 to 18 miles that day, which is fun because you can ride as a team with your family, but you're only getting time those portions. So that's how our event works. Now, next weekend, we're having a one-off for 2020 in October, and due to the parameters with the county and social distancing, we'll be doing a time trial on Friday, which is one person races at a time, the set distance, which is about 5.5 miles, and then we just keep doing one people at a person at a time. And that is that. So we're temporarily suspending that party and the lights and the music for known reasons. So.
Yeah, but then is it still the normal event Saturday and then Sunday for this year?
Yes, it's all the normal, because those you can race. I mean, mountain biking is a solo endeavor most of the time. So we do feel like we can move everyone through appropriately.
Nice. Yeah, any other changes for the Cactus Cup? Because I know obviously postponed, normally it's in the springtime. So are there any other things that people should be aware of for coming, or that'll all be on the website?
It is on the website, yeah. And of course, we have some strict guidelines per our permit. So we will have signage around reminding everyone to stay apart, as much as it saddens me because we all are a community. But we'll have those appropriate things in place, as we've been told to. And then the venue experience will be much less. I liken it to the throwback. This is going to be old school. You show up in your car, you race, and you go. There's no expo. There's not going to be hangout, no beer garden, because we're going to limit those crowds. But I think it'll still be a good time. So that's something to understand. And then we're really limiting camping. So we ask that you just try not to camp. However, the park's campground is open, and they're doing all kinds of sales. So they're encouraging camping in their campground. So there's that option.
And if people want to find out more about the Cactus Cup, where can they go?
CactusCup.com. It's all up there. And all registered athletes this year are getting our custom buffs, which are kind of cool in this mask era now. So
nice.
It's fun.
You can use that when you're walking around the venue.
You sure can.
And then can people still sign up, or is it sold out?
Well, we are getting close to sellout because we have to limit our field this year.
Yep.
And close means we maybe have 20 spots left.
Okay, so by the time this is out there in the world, we might be sold out.
Maybe. Well, and I should say that Saturday's our sellout day. So if we sell out Saturday, you can't do the stage race, obviously, or Saturday. But we still have room in the time trial and the enduro. Those are further from selling out. So
that's probably what happened to me last year. I was like, just jump into the short course.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to do a quick break for our sponsor plug.
Nice.
There we go. This comes to us from our friends at Squirrel's Saddle Butter. So Squirrel's Saddle Butter is the world's best all-natural cycling salve. Use this slick blend to prevent saddle sores and chafing on your next ride. With zinc oxide, peppermint, and tea tree oils, it will leave you chafe-free without saddle sores and smelling nice. Made locally in Flagstaff, Arizona, check out squirrelsnutbutter.com for more information. And I myself used this product at my first ever 50-mile race at the Whiskey 50 last year, and it was nice stuff. Nice. So check that on out. We appreciate that. I want to talk a little bit more about, well, actually, we kind of already touched on this a little bit, but your husband, did he also win the 24 hours in the Old Pueblo more than one time?
Oh.
Or is just, you're not sure?
He podiumed multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah. Always on a single speed.
Yeah, that's awesome. There is certainly a subculture. Do you do categories for that as well? At Cactus Cup?
Oh, yes. We have single speed, men and women single speed. Yeah. And we do a lot of juniors as well. So we have riders as young as 9 who we allow to do the 3 days of racing. They do have to do our mini cup, which is the 25-mile version. Yeah.
Nice. It's amazing what some of these kids can do.
I know. And they want, a lot of them younger are requesting to come in. We're like, just wait till you're 9. You're making me nervous.
Yeah, for sure. So was he like a professional rider?
No, he's just some kind of like uber superpower athlete.
Yeah.
His friends will attest. He was a swimmer ever since high school, and he swam for ASU. So I think just getting those lungs fired up, he was a long distance swimmer. So.
Have you done a 24-hour mountain bike race before?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Our go-to race is the Breck Epic, though.
The Breck Epic.
That's the one we participate in either as a team or separately, and that's a 6-day stage race.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's kind of the one we look up to and participate.
So I'm an endurance runner, and I love doing long distance runs. So I could see myself doing a 24-hour mountain bike race in the future.
Nice.
What would be your biggest tip from maybe the years crewing your husband or just being in the scene? What would be
for you to participate?
Just some tips for participating in one.
I bet Mike would say, make sure you eat, because that's hard. It's easy to forget, and then after a while, you don't want to do it anymore, and that'll burn a lot of people out. And have a good crew.
Sweet.
And you know that from the
running for sure. Yeah. What do you like most about organizing events? Seems like you've been doing it for a number of years. What draws you to that? What do you like about it?
I like organizing large groups of people. I like talking in front of large groups, putting something together, creating something where lots of people come, and I like all the working parts to it. I get so stressed out, which is weird because I really like it also. So I'm not really sure how it works.
It's more stressful, I think, organizing than participating. Even if it's some big epic thing that you're doing.
No, organizing. I think I just get super excited about all in my Excel file. Everything is like lined up, and I love getting people involved. So I like creating something, and then I meet somebody new who doesn't know or who's at a different level, and then I want to create something for them, so they'll come too.
Nice. What is your favorite part about the Arizona mountain biking community? Because you talked a lot about community.
I really really love our trail network. I mean, I think we have as a state a lot to offer. Everyone is so welcoming. You show up at a trail and seeing people out is one of the best reasons.
That's awesome. And now I want you to tell us a little bit about this junior series coming up. Do you have any more details on that?
We did just announce that this morning on Facebook. It's still permit pending. As you know, there's a new process that just hit 2 days ago. So our permits were in, and then we had to do them essentially over. So we still are pending. However, to get it on people's radar, because it's coming up, we're going to do a 3-part series. As we understand it, the junior riders don't have a series this fall, so we just thought we would put something together for them. We have the experience and the infrastructure, so we might as well do that. And we'd like to see the kids get out there. You know, with everything kids are dealing with right now, being out of school since March, and I know firsthand, and then all summer, and it's hot here, and now they're just trickling back to school now. I mean, these guys need a race. They got to get on their bikes. They need to see their friends again. So whatever we can do to get closest to that is what we want to help with.
Great. And for anyone listening out there, if you wanted to find out about that as well, same website?
Yeah, we've plugged it into the Cactus Cup website. On the drop-down menu, you'll see juniors, or you can do /JRS to get directly there.
Sweet. Go check it out. Anything else you'd like to add? Any favorite stories from the Cactus Cup the last couple of years? Well,
we've had some cool riders come join us. I mean, we've had Chris Blevins, who's now at the World Cup, one of the fastest specialized riders. He raced in 2019. He got a flat. But he won the year before that. So awesome. I mean, I got to meet Rose Grant, who now I enjoy being friends with, and she comes. Chloe's going to be there this year, our local favorite. So we've had a lot of cool people. Plus, of course, Ned Overend from Specialized, who was part of the original Cactus Cup, still racing bikes, as most people know. He'll be back this year. And because we're not having a big expo, he's going to be able to race all 3 days. Nice. So, guys, he's racing 60-plus category. If you're in there, you're racing against Ned.
Legends.
Yes, that's the best part, yeah.
That's cool. So cool. Do you have any other things you wanted to share? I see you have like a poster behind you.
Yeah, I was looking. I had pictures of old school Ned. A lot of these, again, are up on our website. What these are, these little tiny pictures that I have, we have tons of old magazines. Like I said, Dan kept Velo Newses and Dirt Rags, everything we used to read. And so we just took a bunch of clips from it. But one cool thing we do have on site is our memorabilia. We do put all of this stuff that I brought here today on display for Cactus Cup weekend so that people can come see. And we've had a lot of cool donations too. People will see our stuff. Let me see here. We've got an old poster, 1994. So people will see it and they'll say, oh, I have a water bottle. Or this was the original swag item from 1991. It's an old school koozie. I can't believe it's not like crumbling.
Right. That was kept in someone's drawer, like all nice and neat.
And we've got a bottle. So what's neat is I started with all this, and then people will continue to donate stuff. And then I'll reach out too and ask if there's things that we can just put on display and give back.
You have like a museum someday.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, anything else? Open forum you want to add or just tell people about? Or...
Well, the website, Reg is still open, as you know, so we will be racing next week. Everyone's allowed to arrive as early as Friday morning, not any earlier though, next Friday. If you, you can come set up. And if you're going to camp or something like that. And so Friday afternoon, about 1-2 o'clock, we'll be doing our time trial. Saturday, most of the day is the cross country. And then Sunday's the enduro. And then the plan is to get right back to March 12th, 13th, and 14th of 2021, when we hope to be back in all our glory.
Awesome. Well, all the best of luck to you guys out there. You. And final question, who should we interview next on the podcast? Do you have someone that you would recommend that would be a good guest on the show here?
Oh, wow. That is a really good question. I mean, you could interview Ned. He's been in the sport a long time. If you want to go the mountain bike route, I'd like to think on that, though.
Cool. All right.
Thanks for that.
Let me know.
All right.
Sweet. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jamil.
Yeah, if you guys want to find this podcast, check us out, Aravaipa Rides on YouTube. Also, wherever podcasts are available. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.